Hey guys, so I'm coming with the dating chronicle for today. It's the 19th, and the guy that I want to tell you about is this guy that I went to high school with. So I'm getting a little tired, but I want to do this video um, just because it was fun for me to do it last week, so I'll do it this week. But I took notes this time because last time I like missed a lot of stuff that I wanted to say about that guy. Like the stuff that I told you was ridiculous, but I left out more stuff that really put that guy over the top. So I wanted to do the top 10 reasons that this guy wasn't for me and probably it's not for anyone else. But I came up with 12. I probably could have came up with more, but I didn't want this video to go too long because it'll probably end up being a long video like the last one was. So number 12, um, he wasn't my type. You know, physically he was not my type. But I was trying to not be shallow. Like I sometimes I can be shallow. So I was trying not to be shallow and decided I was gonna give him a chance, which let me give you some background history. Me and he and I, yeah, we went to high school together, and I think I met him like my senior year. We I ended up being in the class that he was in, and so we kind of became friends. It was either I think it was my senior year. I may have known him like knew of him maybe junior year, but I don't really remember. But yeah, so I kind of had a crush on him then, even though he wasn't my type. It was just he was kind of funny to me, and I liked his personality. And he used to kind of semi flirt with me, call me his little wife or whatever. But I was shy in high school, really, really shy. So I hung with the popular kids, but I really wouldn't say I was popular. People knew who I was, but I didn't talk to people just because I was kind of quiet. So, um, yeah, so that's a little background history. So this year I went home from we kind of got back in touch, which actually I ran into him my freshman year of college. He was on the football team and his school kind of played my school, and so we had a little picture or whatever. And I had that on Facebook, and he was tagged to the picture. Then all of a sudden he wasn't tagged to the picture. And then I think we weren't even friends on Facebook anymore. So some years go by, we end up reconnecting on Facebook, and we would just randomly just a little small talk or whatever. And my birthday came around, and he wrote. I was in Chicago, but he didn't know. And so he wrote on my wall like "Happy birthday! I wish I could celebrate it with you." And so I was like, "Oh, is that right?" And so he was like, "Yeah." So I didn't tell him I was there until the next day, and I was like, "Well, I'm actually in Chicago." And so he was like, "Oh, you should have told me." He was like, "Maybe we can go out for lunch." My mother's birthday is the day after mine, so I'm like, "We can't do that. Maybe we can go out to breakfast the day before I leave because I was leaving 2 days after my birthday." And so he was like, "Okay." So we went out for brunch, and there he was kind of like, "I used to have a crush on you, blah blah blah, but you never really gave me no time of day." And so I'm like, I didn't know that. He said he tried to talk to me, and I would just like say hi and keep walking. And I'm like, I'll never really remember you trying to talk to me, but okay. And so, I told him, I kind of had a little crush on you, blah, blah, blah. And so, that was the end of the little date. And he was like, oh, I really wish you were going to be here. So longer so we could really hang out. So we exchanged numbers. And we had already exchanged numbers, but he was like, "Call me when you get to back where you live," because he knew it was gonna be a 8 hour drive, and so he ended up calling me before I called him, because I was gonna call him, but the track it was like almost when I got to where I live, maybe an hour into it, or maybe even 30 minutes. The traffic was just backed up. So I sat there probably for the longest, and he ended up calling me because he thought I would be here. So we talked on the phone that first day, probably for like 5 or 6 hours. And it was just like easy conversation, which we haven't seen each other in what it had been maybe 8 years or more. So it really seemed, or maybe even 10 years, so it just seemed like, oh, okay, we liked each other in high school. We had that little picture of of meeting, or bumping into each other our freshman year, and then we haven't seen each other since. And it just seemed really good, so I was excited. And we started talking on the phone every day, and we ended up getting into a long distance relationship. And we started like having little arguments on the phone. And so I was thinking, well, maybe like we're having these arguments because like we're so far away and we want to see each other. So I ended up going back home for the 4th of July. And I was only up there for 3 days because I went to St. Louis first. Actually, I wasn't in Chicago for the 4th of July, but it was around that time. And those 3 days were like the worst 3 days of my life. And I ended up breaking up with him. So these are like the some of the things that he did. Like, one, he wasn't my type. So after that, he wasn't my type, but I was giving him a chance because I was trying not to be shallow. And I um I liked him from before. So that was that's number 12 why he wasn't from me. 11, he had roaches in his apartment. So when I went to go visit him, there were roaches, and I didn't notice it the first day, but they were crawling in the bathroom. And so I screamed when I saw it, and he was like, "What?" I'm like, "There's a roach in the bathroom." You're gonna ask me, "Am I serious?" Who plays a joke like there's a roach? So that wasn't cool. 10, he thought he was smarter than me, which is no problem you thinking you smarter than somebody, or even you could think you smarter than me, but he wasn't smarter than me. And like, why are you even telling me you think you smarter than me? There are various reasons why I could prove that he wasn't smarter than me, but like, I'm not gonna go there for the point of this video because I'm already at 7 minutes. Number 9, his breath smelled like, and you could just fill in the blank with whatever you want to fill it in with. But he had like the most horrible smelling breath I've ever smelled in my life. Like, I couldn't even talk to him face to face. And so it was funny because when we went out that first day, he was like, "Well, I, did the little joke like, maybe that's why I wasn't talking to him in high school." And so when I came back down here, I was thinking like, and we got to talking. I was thinking, what if he really does have bad breath? So it was like 2 months before I saw him again, and he has, excuse me, I think he has postnasal drip because he's always like making this noise, like he's clearing his throat all the time. And I told him, I was like, I think you might have postnasal drip, or yeah, postnasal drip. And I told him some of the symptoms, and one of the symptoms is bad breath. He was like, "Oh no, I don't get that because I don't have bad breath." But he did, and I think he knew he did because he kept gum and everything around his house, and like Tic Tacs. And who just has all, like, you could have some gum and Tic Tacs, but you're just not gonna have like 50 packs of gum and you don't think nothing's going on in your mouth. I don't know what was going on in his mouth, but it was horrible. Like, and every day it kind of smelled like something different. And he wanted to always talk close and wanted to kiss, and I'm not trying to kiss you, like, ugh. So that was number 9. And that was something I was thinking, like, maybe I can get over it because I could probably tell him after we've been together for a while, like, you might want to go to the dentist and find out what's going on. But yeah, so number 8, he was disrespectful. Not only to me, but like just like making disrespectful comments. He really didn't like my mother because when she met him, she was she was playing around, but I didn't know she was playing around. She came on like she was real serious, asking him a lot of questions, which people normally do ask about ask the guy who's seeing their daughter, and he didn't like that. So yeah, he was like, "Yeah, I like your daddy," and didn't mention my mama, and so it was some other stuff, but I'm not gonna go into that. Number 7 was he was flirtatious with other people. And like, I would be talking to him on the phone and say he was going to Wendy's or something. He would be flirting with and I could hear him over the phone flirting with him and calling him baby and honey. And I'm like, no, you're gonna have to stop that. But you gotta be flirtatious so they won't mess your food up. No, you just don't have to be rude. Like, dude, are you kidding me? And when I went home, we went downtown. We went to the Sears Tower, and he got lost and couldn't find it. And so we had to stop in Walgreens, and he want to ask the lady like, "Oh, hey, sweetie," in front of me. He does this, and so I'm just looking at him like, "Dude, are you serious?" I don't. To me, that's not cute. Don't be flirting with people, and then you definitely not gonna flirt with people in front of my face. Then one other time, when we went to a shoe store, this is the same time when I'm up there. I'm looking at some shoes, and I couldn't decide what I wanted. And this lady said something I didn't hear what she said, and he laughed and was like, "Right." And so I'm like, "You laughing with this lady, that you don't know?" And so no, I'm like, "What she?" I didn't really care that. I'm like, "Oh, what did she say?" He want to tell me. I'm like, "What do you mean you're not gonna tell me?" And then that's when I kind of got into the for real. You laughing with this lady that you don't know. Now he want me to get quiet. No, y'all thought whatever was funny. I'm gonna join in too. So I ain't really care for that. Number six, he low key he tried to like put me down. So the first day when I go to his apartment, I had on socks, and he was like, "Oh, you have small feet," which I wear 8.5, which I think that's about average. Maybe 7 might be average, but my feet are not huge, and so he's like, "You have small feet," which I really didn't care if he thought I had small feet or not. But then the next day, he comes to my house when we were getting ready to go downtown, and I have on sandals now, and I was trying to figure out which shoe I wanted to wear with this outfit because it could have been two, I could have chose either one. And he was like, "You got some big feet." Like, who says that? And then my feet aren't big, but try to slowly pick away at you. And so, I'm first of all, I'm a counselor. I'm a mental health counselor, and like he had clear signs that he classical signs of abuse. Like he was an abuser. And so that then when we were on the train going downtown, I don't know how we got to talking about ears, but he wanted to try to say like, "Oh, I had some huge ears." Me and him, we had the same size ears, which I like. That's another thing. You think my ears big, but this is what my ear look like, just for everybody to see. Hopefully y'all can see that. To me, that's a normal size ear. Just so y'all can know, like that he was really trying to do things to, pick at your self esteem. And so I'm like, our ears are the same size. Now you got some big ears. Okay. So, and this is a tie for these two, 4 and 5. He was controlling, very controlling. So the whole reason why I was coming home was I wanted to take my nephew to Great America because he had never been. And this I had decided on this in May when I had came up there, and so I was telling him like, oh, I was supposed this before like we got into the whole relationship, and this we had just started talking on the phone, and I'm like, well, I'm supposed to be coming back up there in July for I want to take my nephew to Great America. Do you want to come? And so he was like, yeah. He ran with it like it was his idea though, because my brother was supposed to be coming, his girlfriend and their son, and so he was like he was gonna drive. I had my own car. I drove it there, but he was gonna drive. And I'm like, that's fine. After driving there, it would be nice to not have to drive while I'm there. Now he wanna, well, who's all coming and like he don't want them in his car. Like, well, dude, I'll just drive my own car, or we can go separately, or you don't have to go. And so it came an issue with my nephew. Well, no, like something happened between my brother and his girlfriend. So, she wasn't gonna go. It was just gonna be my brother and his son. But we kind of thought like it was just an issue. So I told him like, well, they might not be going. And so then okay, it was like, well, it's just gonna be my brother and his son. He all mad, like, well, can you make up your mind and this and that? And it's like, dude, you the add on. Why you acting like this was your idea? You don't even have to go to Great America. I don't need you to go. And I wanted him to go, but at that point, it's like I really don't care. And so, yeah. number so a tie with that was temper. He had like anger management issues, which goes in with the controlling. And so he would get frustrated over little things, like getting frustrated over the fact that I told him they wasn't well, they first they was coming, now they might not be coming, now they are coming. What do it matter? Like, it's not even the day before, the day of, and it's something like Great America. And so that's another thing with the controlling. He was like, I really wish we could just go to our first time going to Great America could be by ourselves. That's not something romantic. Going to Great America with a group would make it better. So, yeah, but he got frustrated, or like if I just had to walk uh this way and he was walking that way and I didn't know he was gonna do it, he wanna get upset. Dude, calm down. And I definitely don't have time for that. Then he what else did he do with his anger? Oh yeah, after we went to the Sears Tower, I wanted to go to this specific place, to this pizza restaurant that I like, but it was kind of far and we were just gonna walk. So I'm like, you could tell he was irritated. I'm like, it's okay because it was a Giordano's, uh, like right on the corner across the street from where we were at. And so I'm like, well, we could just go there, and we were already walking in the other direction, and so I'm like, it's over there, which it was over there. Are you sure? Like, cause if it's over there, if it's over there, if it's not over there, what? Like, if it's not over there, okay. If it's not over there, then we didn't walk to the corner. What do you have to do today? Are we on a time restraints that I'm not aware of? So little stuff like that, I ain't really appreciate. Number three, he did not have a job. Now I did not know he didn't have a job, which it don't matter if he didn't have a job because people are getting laid off. That's not the problem. But the problem is he lied like he had a job, and I didn't figure this all out until I came home, and my supervisor was like, "Yeah, if he was telling the truth about everything, or just." And so that put it in my head, and I started putting little stuff together. Like, this dude did not have a job, and he has been lying for months about not having a job. And so this is how like there's some stuff wasn't adding up, but I wasn't trying to really dwell on it because I'm very analytical, and so I try not to be that way. So when I first started talking to him, he was like, uh, he might didn't tell me right away, but in that first little week, maybe even first 3 days, was like, yeah, we gonna be having a meeting at my job. They laying people off, so I'm a have to find out if I'm one of the people. I'm probably gonna get laid off because I don't have seniority. So I'm like, oh, like man, that's messed up. You just got fired. You might finna get fired or whatever. So the day of the meeting, he had a meeting and I talked to him. I'm like, so what you found out? He like, yeah, they gonna let me go. Now this is in May, like the end of May. He was like, yeah, the last day is gonna be July 15th, and he really sounded convincing. So I'm like, okay. I'm like, so what you gonna do? He don't know. He was really kind of tired of the job anyway, because he said he was working at a juvenile detention center, which I think he had worked there because there's pictures of him with a uniform on. So come June 15th, or June 14th, he was like, or because he worked overnight, like overnight shifts. He was like, yeah, this is my last day, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, no, it's not. He was like, yes, it is. I'm like, no, it's not. Like, what do what you mean this is your last day? He like, remember I told you they laid me off? I'm like, yeah, in July 15th, not June 15th. He like, yeah, I know, I was just kidding. Or trying to say he meant that was his last day because his last day for the week. But that still didn't even make sense because he was trying to act like it was his last day permanently, and that was like his first day going in for the week. And so I'm like, I just brushed it off. Like, I don't even feel like even going back and forth with him about that didn't make no sense, and why did you just act like tomorrow was your last day? And I didn't even put it together that he didn't have a job just because that didn't make no sense for him to make up not having a job. I mean, if you was gonna pretend like you was laid off, why not just tell me you was laid off originally instead of acting like you had a job and they laid you off a couple of days? It was just stupid. So, which when I was down there for Memorial Holiday, he was like, "Yeah, I just took the whole week off for for Memorial Holiday. Well, I mean, not for Memorial Holiday. for my birthday, which the following Monday, my birthday was on Friday or Thursday, I think, yeah. And the following Monday was the Memorial holiday. So he was like, he just took the whole week off from the Memorial holiday. Why would you even tell me that? I wasn't gonna even be in Chicago on Monday. That and who takes a whole week off from Memorial weekend? But I was just like, or Memorial Day, I was just like, I ain't think nothing of it then. But now I put it together, and that just shows people who lie. They always trying to give you extra details that don't matter. I don't need to know why you off. I'm just getting back in contact with you. You could have went to work for all I knew. So yeah, no, but I can't think I got it. Kind of got it mixed up. Oh, okay. Yeah, number two was he was a liar, and I hate liars. Like if anybody knows anything about me, if like you really know me, you know that I hate liars. That's my number one pet peeve. I will just leave you alone and stop talking to you if you lie to me. And he lied to me about so much it didn't make sense. Like one, the job thing. Two, he sent me a picture one day. Somebody from this picture was for you, and I'm like, oh, okay. And so it looked like a picture that I'd already seen on Facebook last a couple of years ago. And so I was like, when you take this picture, he was like, so he took it that day. And so I'm like, oh, I'm like, I'm like, this looked like a picture I saw before. And so he was like, well, dag detective or something. Like, I didn't know you was gonna be looking at the picture or something. He acted like I was really trying to investigate the picture. And so I'm like, no, no, I'm like, well, why are you lying to me? Why are you lying to me about you took this picture today when you took this a long time ago and it's on your Facebook? Well, I didn't know you was gonna be looking at the picture like that hard, but that's not even the point. Why did you lie to me? You telling me you lied to me because you didn't think I was gonna know you was lying? So he lied about that. He lied about what else did he lie about? He lied about one time he was like his cell phone had broke or whatever, and so he was like he was waiting for them to get a new phone, and so I'm like thinking it was like a week for him to get a new phone, and so I'm like, why don't you just go to the store? Like, why would you wait that long to get a new phone? He don't have no phone at all. And so the only way we could talk to each no, and another crazy thing is he couldn't receive calls, but he could text, which you can only do that if your phone is turned off because some phones you can still text on it or you can receive text. So I'm like this don't make any sense. But like I said, I was trying not to analyze everything, but I'm like he is lying about that phone. And so he was like, yeah, he was like they was gonna be the phone was gonna be coming back in or whatever in a week or whatever. So we talking to each other through Facebook, and I was really upset. Like, dude, go to the store and get a phone. Why would you wait all this time for a dang old phone? And so one day he randomly called, like, oh, guess what? I came home and my phone was home, or my phone was there. And so I'm like, okay, but something told me like he just didn't pay his bill. Like that's why you don't got a phone right now because you didn't pay your bill. And so he when I came home to Chicago, he got this phone, and you could tell it was old. I'm like, this is the replacement phone that they sent you. He was like, yeah. I'm like, oh, it was. I'm like, this is a brand new phone. He's like, yeah. And so I'm looking at it. I'm like, this phone is old. I'm like, why does this phone look like this? Oh, why I dropped it? And so I'm really looking at the phone like, dude, there's no way that you had this phone for a month, less than a month. This phone is the same old phone. So I'm like, just tell the truth. So apparently he tell the truth. He didn't pay his phone bill. Why you just didn't tell me that? I mean, well, that stuff like that is stupid, especially when I'm gonna see the phone if you trying to act like it's brand new. And even before I came, I'm asking him like, did you just not pay your bill? No, I paid my bill. Like, okay, you. Another thing, how like when you call the phone number, it says that the number had been disconnected. So that's why I'm like, they didn't cut your phone off. You called them and told them that you broke your phone, and they just disconnected your number. And his reaction was, "Oh, I probably need to call them about that." You think like, ain't you paying the phone bill, and you don't think you need to know why you paying for something that's disconnected? So that right there let me know that he didn't uh that he didn't pay his bill, but I was like, I'm not gonna push it. But then number one was he was abusive, like all the little controlling stuff, but he was really abusive because and this what really ultimately made me leave him alone was he had stepped on my foot on accident and it hurt because he's like a big dude, and so I was like I pushed him off to get him off my foot as a reaction. He turned around like he was gonna hit me, and so I'm like, um, don't act like you gonna hit me. And so he told me he would knock my ass out if he wanted to, and so that took it from me. And so he lucky I didn't uh tell anyone about that. So, but yeah, that is the number one reason why he is not for me and anyone else. And if anybody, oh, I wish I could post a picture so they know. Do not talk to him. And I mean it was more, but I'm not even gonna go into detail about how like he was crazy. After we got into an argument, and so he called like I'm ignoring his calls, he just kept calling and calling and calling. Like, dude, you ain't figured it out. I'm done with you. Yeah, so it was another reason that not number one, but I forget he was also cheap. Like he was so cheap it didn't make any sense. And this is now I know why he's cheap because he didn't have a job. But he like would keep the forks from like Wendy's and stuff and would reuse them and would like wash them inside the sink. And I'm thinking, for real, you can get forks at the dollar store for $1. Sometimes you can get them for two for $1. You can't spend 50 cents on a real fork. That's just nasty. Excuse me. That is just nasty to me using some old forks from Wendy's. And that's what he had in his house when I came over there. Then another reason he was cheap, he didn't want to pay for gas so that he could cook on the stove. Talking about I got a microwave and a hot plate. And I'm like, what if you have company and they want something to eat? Well, I just have to take them to somebody else's house to cook. I'm like, so if you got a girlfriend, she want a home cooked meal, you gonna take her to your mama house to cook, like, and y'all just getting to know each other. Another thing, and y'all know this. Well, I don't know about every city, but this past summer was extremely hot. And okay, to me, air is important because you could have a heat stroke and die. He would not pay for air, and it was so hot in his apartment. And he had a fan on, but it wasn't blowing anything because it was hot outside. And it was not a breeze. Like I was literally sweating in his house. Felt better outside than it did in his house. I'm like, dude, I can't come over here. It's too hot. Uh, what else did he? Mentioning about the forks, he decided to buy some silverware because he knew I was coming. Like he bought, and he had them laid out on the table. Like you know how you go to, have some people have like their table, their placemats or whatever with the front with the dishware and everything. So he got these forks from Dollar General, which there's no problem because I didn't bought some forks from them when I was in college. But do you know he left the plastic wrapped around it? I'm like, my man, like you couldn't take this off. Yeah, I had bought his Great America ticket because I got uh, a discount through my job. Do you know that? Now he said he was gonna pay me back. Now when I come home, we go to Great America because he's so cheap. He didn't even want to buy food at Great America. He like we could just take some sandwiches. Like that is economical, but who really want to walk back to the car to eat? And so I just went along with it, like whatever. And then on top of that, I was gonna buy the food at Great America because he was supposed to buy my ticket, but since I bought a season pass, he decided he didn't want to pay for it, which I really didn't care because like I got a job, I can afford to go to Great America, or I wouldn't even said that I was going to begin with. But he thought he wasn't gonna pay me back the money he owed me. Now we at Walmart and like I want some chips. We don't need them chips. Oh, duh, we don't need anything, but I want the chips. Well, okay, that's gonna come out the money I owe you. For real, I'm your girl, but you can't buy me a bag of $2 chips. Like it's cool, I got it. And so I had left my swimsuit in St. Louis, and I needed the swimsuit, And I can kind of tell he wasn't gonna give me my money back. I'm like, we just gonna take this out the money you owe me. And then from there, that's when he went with the chips. Is gonna we gonna take that out the money he owed me. He thought we was gonna take the money for the bread out of that too. No, dude, you paying for that. And so we get up there, it was like $70. He gonna give me this look like he really. I can't even make the look he made, but he was really mad. What you mad for? You the one said you wanted to eat a damn sandwich, so you thought I was gonna pay for it, and you the guy. Like, get out of here. He so he still owed me like $20 maybe, and he didn't give it to me that day. So I'm talking to him on the phone. I'm like, when are you gonna give me my money? Somebody told me he wasn't gonna give it to me, and so I'm like, okay, like you not gonna give me my money, and so somebody said, no, he might didn't say he was not gonna give it to me. I'm gonna give it to you when I want to. I'm like, no, you gonna give me my money tomorrow when I see you. And so he tried to act like I was making a big deal. It's my money, dude. You should have gave it to me without me even bringing it up that you owe me some money. You should have had, like, as soon as I came to your house, it should have been in your hand and you should have been putting it in my hand. Like, are you stupid? And so he gives me the money. Like, I had to make a big deal. Like, so you for real not gonna give me my money? You gonna give it to me when you want to? So he gives me the money and makes a big deal about it, like he doing something. Dude, it was my money. Like, did you forget that you was supposed to be paying for your? Why I'm gonna pay for him to go to Great America, and we just started talking like you. You're supposed to be courting me, okay? I don't care what age it is. You still the man. Like, show that you a man, and I'm a woman. Like, I don't expect. I've been the type of person I pay for myself, but my parents were like, if a guy's interested in you, they should want to do things, which I'm had to get in that mindset of they right. I shouldn't be paying for him. If we ain't it's not like we've been dating for a long time. So he gives me the money. Now we at the train station and he didn't even want to pay for the tickets. I could pay for a $5 ticket for myself. That's no problem. Like, cause once again I have a job, which apparently he didn't. And so I'm looking for the money for the train. And like we standing at the window to buy the ticket, he gonna say some, what's the purpose of me giving you money if you just gonna lose it? And so I just looked at him like, and so I was thinking, why didn't I tell him, like, what you mean it was my money? If I wanted to, I could shred it, throw it in the garbage, burn it, put it down the toilet if I want to. Try to act like he was giving me anything. You didn't give me nothing, dude. So yeah, I can go on and on about him. That's why I had to write a list because I'm getting upset just thinking about him again. Like, then after everything was said and done, he gonna tell me delete my number. Dude, duh, it's been deleted. You the one keep calling and texting me, and then go right on Facebook. He had to let me go. Did you? Cause I thought I let you go, dude. So yeah, he was a mess. But and don't worry, I'm not talking to him. Cause I know in that last video y'all was like, leave him alone. This guy left alone. Trust me. And I felt so relieved after it was all said and done. So hopefully you all did not cut out on me because this went longer. I thought it was gonna be 20 minutes, but thanks for watching. Bye.